What if the next great crypto rally isn't a 4-year cycle, but a multi-year supercycle for a single digital asset? It may be time to reconsider everything you know about market tops and bottoms. Some analysts are pointing to 2026 as the beginning of a sustained price run for XRP. This time, it isn't being fueled by retail speculation, but by the biggest names in finance and a technological shift that could be worth trillions. The tokenization of everything. Welcome to the generational wealth community, your pathway from knowledge to legacy. We don't chase hype, we decode the market. The pieces are quietly being moved into place. While most of the world watches Bitcoin, institutional giants are laying the groundwork for a new financial system, and XRP is appearing right in the middle of the conversation. This isn't about hoping for a quick pump. It's about understanding a fundamental change in how value moves. We're going to break down the timeline, the major players like BlackRock, and the price predictions for what some believe could be the start of the XRP supercycle. Let's begin with the elephant in the room: BlackRock. The rumor mill is always turning, so let's get the facts straight. No, BlackRock has not filed for a spot XRP ETF at this time. While there is online chatter suggesting otherwise, a spokesperson for the firm clarified they have no current plans for such a filing. However, the groundwork is being laid in other, more subtle ways. BlackRock's tokenized treasury fund, known as BUIDL, is now connected to Ripple's stablecoin, RLUSD, for settlement through a partnership with the tokenization platform Supercycle. This allows investors in the fund to exchange their tokenized shares for a stable digital dollar, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. While this does not mean BlackRock is using the XRP ledger for its primary operations, it shows a real and growing integration with Ripple's technology ecosystem. So, when might a BlackRock XRP ETF happen? Remains pure speculation. Stephen McClurg, the CEO of Canary Capital, has suggested a filing could potentially come by late 2026 or early 2027. He notes that major ETF providers like BlackRock typically respond to sustained institutional demand rather than trying to create it. They will be watching the existing XRP ETFs from firms like 21 Shares, Franklin Templeton, Bitwise, and Grayscale to gauge market appetite. As of March 20th, 2026, the combined assets in these products have settled around the $1 billion mark. So BlackRock is likely waiting for a much stronger signal of institutional interest before making a move. The second, and arguably much larger catalyst, is the tokenization of real-world assets, or RWAs. Imagine representing everything from real estate and stocks to art and commodities on a blockchain. Projections for the total value of this market vary, with some analysts forecasting it could reach over $10 trillion by 2030, and a report from Ripple and Boston Consulting Group suggests it could even soar to nearly $19 trillion by 2033. The XRP ledger aims to become a key piece of infrastructure for this transition, building on its reputation for low costs and fast settlement. This isn't just a niche crypto concept. The trend is becoming mainstream. For instance, former Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ, has stated that he is in discussions with a dozen governments about tokenizing their state-owned assets. These conversations are not directly tied to XRP, but they demonstrate a massive global shift is underway. As governments and major institutions begin looking for efficient and secure ledgers to issue these new digital assets, platforms built for high performance will naturally be in high demand. So, what could all this mean for the price of XRP? As of March 2026, XRP is trading in a range of approximately $1.40 to $1.50. The forecasts for this potential supercycle are all over the map. On the more conservative end, some analysts suggest a consolidation between $1.20 and $1.60 for the remainder of the year, assuming we see gradual adoption and no major market shocks. Prediction market data shows traders assigning the highest probability to a price around $1.60 by the end of March. If market momentum picks up, other models point to a possible climb toward the $3 to $6 range. Standard Chartered has offered a conservative forecast of $2.80. Then you have the Super Bulls. Citing the potential for major ETF approvals and global adoption, some analysts are calling for targets of $10 or even higher. The most extreme models, which assume XRP captures a significant piece of the multi-trillion-dollar tokenization market, even float triple-digit numbers. Though it is critical to remember these are highly speculative. The general timeline many are watching is 2026 as a turning point. Forecasts for 2027 suggest a potential price range of $4.20 to $6.20 if blockchain payment adoption accelerates globally. It is easy to get swept up in the excitement, but we must ground this optimism in reality. This supercycle narrative is far from guaranteed. First, the entire tokenization thesis depends on attracting real-world, high-volume use. The technology may be ready, but the demand must materialize. Second, the existing XRP ETFs have seen inconsistent flows, with total assets under management holding around $1 billion. This shows that institutional interest can be fragile and is not a one-way street. Finally, the broader crypto market remains incredibly volatile. XRP would not be immune to a major market downturn, no matter how strong its individual story is. And of course, regulations can always change, which remains a key risk factor for any digital asset. The stage appears to be set for what could be a game-changing era for XRP. The combination of institutional-grade technology, the immense potential of tokenizing real-world assets, and the quiet integration with financial giants like BlackRock creates a powerful narrative for 2026 and beyond. But this is still a story of what if. The pieces are on the board, but they need to connect in the right way. The promise of a supercycle all comes down to moving from speculation to real utility, from hype to high-volume, real-world adoption. Subscribe for daily recaps, drop a comment on your biggest takeaway, and turn on notifications. We do a crypto news video every morning and a deep dive every afternoon. Let us know in the comments any subjects you'd like us to cover. Quick disclaimer: I'm not a licensed financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only and not financial or investment advice. Crypto is volatile. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Do your own research.